Something happened after Ryuichi Kihara's retirement press conference that stopped the entire world mid-scroll. Fans across every continent zeroed in on a single moment, a single sentence, and have not stopped discussing it since. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't rehearsed, it wasn't even particularly long. But that one brief, honest statement burrowed straight into people's hearts, and right now it is still spreading. "I was terrified of no longer being able to protect her." That was the line. Just that. And the instant it left his mouth, something in the room fundamentally changed. People watching overseas described it the same way independently. The atmosphere shifted. The guy who had held himself together with quiet composure for the entire press conference suddenly let the wall come down, and what emerged was something completely unguarded and real. Today, we are going deep on why those words hit as hard as they did. And toward the end, we are also examining a specific flicker on Riku Miura's face, wordless, fleeting, and yet somehow the most telling moment of the entire event. Stay with us all the way through because you do not want to miss that part. So picture the scene. The press conference is winding down. A reporter asks Kihara about the future, what comes next, after stepping away from competition. He lowers his eyes, takes a slow, quiet breath, and then begins speaking almost below a whisper. The entire venue goes dead silent. And then it lands the sentence that set off a chain reaction across every platform, every language, every time zone. "I didn't want to put her in danger." The comment sections went absolutely haywire. Responses came flooding in from the United States, Canada, France, Japan, and everywhere in between. People were genuinely stunned. One fan typed, "Wait, did he actually just say that?" Someone else responded immediately that right there is love, no question about it. The wave of reactions kept building for hours and showed no signs of stopping. And the reason it hit so hard makes complete sense once you understand what pair skating actually demands. A single miscalculation in this discipline does not just mean a stumble or a point deduction, it can end in a genuine, serious injury. The male skater is responsible for every throw, every lift, every catch. He is the one ensuring his partner lands safely at speed, in the air, on a surface made of ice. That responsibility does not clock out between routines. It is always there, every single session, every single performance, for as long as they compete together. Kihara shouldered that for years. The relentless physical demands, the suffocating weight of expectations, and running underneath all of it, this quiet, immovable sense of duty to keep her safe no matter what. When international fans absorbed that reality and connected it to those words, the response wasn't just emotional, it was visceral. An American fan said it simply and perfectly. He stood at that podium with every right to talk about his own journey, his own sacrifices, his own future, and instead, every single word he said was about protecting her. Fans in Canada were openly crying. Messages arrived from France carrying the exact same sentiment. This is what genuine partnership actually looks like. What was being felt in that room went far beyond figure skating, and the entire world received it at the same moment. Then came Miura's face. She said absolutely nothing, but the instant his words reached her, her lips trembled barely perceptibly, just for a second, and she nodded, slowly, quietly. That was all it took. The comment sections detonated all over again. She knew the full weight of every word he said. They had been carrying this side by side the entire time. The responses would not stop coming, from every corner of the planet simultaneously. Major international outlets took notice as well. And what caught people off guard was this. The press conference did not feel like a farewell soaked in grief. There was no heaviness of defeat or loss in that space. What the room actually held was something far more powerful. Completion. A profound, bone-deep stillness that belongs only to people who have truly given everything they had and know it with certainty. Two athletes at the end of something enormous, and neither of them carrying any regret about how it was lived. Pause here for a second, drop your answer in the comments right now. When Kihara spoke those words, what was the first thing you felt? A sense of responsibility? Love? Sheer unwavering resolve? Genuinely curious what hit you first. Now, the moment that truly shattered the internet was not actually part of the formal press conference at all. It came right after, in those unscripted seconds, when the cameras widened slightly and the official portion was effectively over. Kihara turned and looked at her, and Miura smiled. Small, warm, entirely natural. That smile communicated what no prepared statement ever could. It was evidence concrete, visible, undeniable that she had been looked after consistently. Through every season, every injury scare, every moment the stakes felt impossible. When the world saw that smile, something crystallized for everyone watching at the same time. What exists between Ikuryu does not dissolve when the skates come off. The story does not conclude here. It simply opens a new door. Everything Kihara absorbed over the years, the fear, the pressure, the unspoken obligation, is genuinely difficult to wrap your head around from the outside. But that trembling in Miura's lip told the whole story without a syllable. In one small, involuntary reaction, the full accumulated weight of 7 shared years rose to the surface all at once. That level of honesty cannot be manufactured. No polish, no media training, no carefully worded statement produces something like that. Just two human beings in an unguarded moment telling the truth. That is rarer than any championship title. Japan's finest pairs team earned every ounce of the recognition pouring in from around the world. And as they move toward whatever their lives become next, watch how they carry themselves. There is no dimming happening. If anything, the opposite is true. Because here is what walking away from competition simply cannot take with them the way they think about each other. That part does not retire. That is the piece that outlasts everything. That smile keeps coming back up because it genuinely deserves to. In that one completely unguarded instant, cameras still rolling, room still watching, press conference technically concluding, she looked at him and smiled. And he caught it. Nobody orchestrated that. Nobody could. That is the authentic version of everything. And that smile may honestly be the most significant thing he walked away with, far more meaningful than any medal hanging on a wall. Fans around the world are still dissecting every frame, every expression, every exchanged glance, determined to keep this legacy alive and properly honored. Because what Ikuryu built was never purely about scores or podium placements. It was about a connection that traveled across every language barrier without needing a single translation. And looking ahead, the sky on the day of that press conference was wide open and clear, and somehow it felt like exactly the right backdrop. Whatever shape their new chapters take, the bond between them does not weaken with distance. That is simply not how this kind of thing works. Coming up next, we are going after the question that has the entire online community spinning the simultaneous retirement. Why did both of them choose to walk away at the exact same moment? Was that pure coincidence? Was it a decision they reached together quietly, long before any announcement was made? We are going all the way in on that one, and what we found is more layered and meaningful than most people have pieced together yet. Make sure notifications are on, so that one lands right in your feed the moment it goes up. Every person who keeps showing up to watch and engage is the entire reason this content keeps getting made. Every single comment gets read. Every one of them matters and keeps this going. The legacy of Ikuryu is not something locked away in the past, it is actively continuing, and we will be here following every step of it. Tell us below what you think comes next for these two. What do you see in their future? This is exactly the kind of conversation worth having. Their bond is not going anywhere. Their story is nowhere near finished. See you in the next one.